Hi there. Good morning, everyone. It's Pilo and Corinne Rios here. It's Friday, August 14th. And we're going to talk about, who are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the interview that Vincent Chavez did yesterday with TJ Trout. And I think I mentioned yesterday that it really got me disturbed on a whole bunch of stuff. And we're going to just concentrate on three falsehoods that Vincent Chavez is trying to teach his church or to teach other people. So I want to just dig into the very first one, and we're just going to get into it, babe. The first thing I want to talk about is he keeps saying and alluding to that Islam is a race. Because he says racism is the gravest sin against God's love. You want to expound on that? Yeah. Well, first of all, do you think that's funny?
It is funny because this is what the left uses to shame us, to say that we're racist. So they do that. They say, "Well, you're racist because you're against Islam," and Islam. First of all, Islam is all over the world. It's almost in every country and every color. White, black, yellow, brown, in between, olive. They're everywhere, and they come from all different colors. So it's not one race; it's all the races.
So we can have Asian.
Yeah. We
can have European, Hispanics.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we even have a Hispanic here in New Mexico who's running for the Doña Ana County Commissioner. So our point is that Islam is not a race because it encompasses all the nationalities.
Right, because you have to remember that Islam's main goal is to take over the whole world and to remove all the other religions in the world, and that means the elimination of all Jews and all Christians, violently if needed. That's what their main goal is. If you look at the Muslim Brotherhood, that's exactly what they say. They want to eliminate all Jews and all Christians.
So if somebody's telling you that Islam is a race and that we're racist, you just need to understand that their intention, their intention is to try to silence you.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody wants to be called a racist. Is that true?
Yeah, because some people are very sensitive that way. So they overreact, and it's like, oh no, no, it's not that at all. They're just trying to shame you into keeping quiet. Yes, because that's the way the left works. They don't want you to speak up.
And I think that's what Vincent Chavez is trying to do. He's trying to say that us who are opposing things, the Muslim world, Islamic, whatever, that we're racist.
Yeah, and you know what? He understands that. He's just a liar. And Vincent is a known liar. And I call him Vincent because he's not what other people call him. I think TJ Trout was calling him father, and I'm like...
No, actually, TJ Trout didn't know what to call him at one point.
Did he?
No, he called him pastor.
Well, he said and pastor, but other people call him father. And I'm like, that...
I know, but pastors, you don't find pastors in the Catholic Church. They're either priests, deacons, and they like to be called father.
Yeah, well, I know that.
Yes.
But TJ Trout is probably the most superficial, unimaginative, and unfunny...
okay, we don't have to go that far.
Well, it's true. I mean, he's not. I've heard TJ Trout since I was in Philadelphia in 1985.
Really?
He's horrible.
It's the same guy all the way out there?
Yeah. Well, he was out there when I was there. Now he's over here.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, so Islam is not a race.
Yes.
Is not a race. Okay.
Right.
The other thing, many people think of Islam as a religion, and can you expound on that a little bit, babe?
Right. So we're always talking about Islam as a religion, but it's really not a religion, because what religion do you know of that when it comes to your country, it becomes the dominating system in the entire country? There's no, for example, Iran. They don't have a military. It's the Islamic Republic Defense. Everything is Islamic. They take over every aspect of government. So Islam is actually more of a government than they are a religion. And you can see the things that they do all over the world, and you'll understand that.
So this is what I found, babe. Islam contains teachings that reach beyond private worship and into areas involving law, government, family, society, morality, and public life. And when Islam principles are developed into a political movement that seeks to organize government or society around those principles, that's what Islam is. They want to encompass everything in every aspect of life, like Sharia law. They believe in Sharia law. They want to make parts of Sharia law the law, correct?
Yeah, and there's when I actually feel sorry for people that are Muslims, and the reason I feel sorry for them is because they literally give up everything, all their freedoms, all their free thinking gets removed. You can't speak out at all if you disagree with them or with what they want you to do. You're going to get into serious trouble. So when I was in Afghanistan, I used to watch these guys all the time, and so they pray 5 times a day, if you want to call it prayer. Okay, so and they all pray at the same time. So when the bell goes off, everybody drops what they're doing and gets on the ground and starts bowing their head into the ground and praying.
Wait, stop right there. I want to talk about, you told me that they actually pound their head on the concrete.
Well, not all of them, but quite a few of them. And you can tell very quickly if you get on the internet and you search for Islamic mark on the forehead, and you'll see a bunch of pictures with a bunch of men, and they have this bruises right here on their forehead. The bruises are there from them pounding their head into the ground
while they're praying.
Yeah, because this shows this. It's an outward thing where they want to prove to everybody that they are Islamic, that they hit their head on the ground so hard that they bruise themselves. So it's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. You know, they wear that as a pride.
Okay.
The weirdest thing in the world. But yeah, you can't. Well, you know what? I'm not going to pray today. I prayed yesterday. I'm not going to pray now. You will pray. You will get down on the ground and you'll do what they do, or you're going to suffer some consequences. There is no freedom. It's a hive mentality. You do what everybody else around you is doing. That's why I feel sorry for them, because they have no freedom whatsoever.
And you know what's interesting that we've talked a lot about, babe, is that, you know, God in the Bible, he doesn't command that you do things like that. Mm-hmm. He wants you to love him because you love him, not because you're commanded to love him. And there's a difference in that, don't you think? And that love, that's where I'm going with that, I guess, requires free will.
Absolutely, yeah.
In Islam, their people have no free will. At all. Right? So is that really love?
Yeah. And one of the things I also realized when I was watching them, if I saw an Islamic person separated from everybody else by a couple of 100 feet and they started praying, the guy who was by himself usually didn't pray. See, they only pray when there's 2 or more. It's just very interesting, which means they don't really do it for themselves and with their relationship with their Allah. Oh. They do it because everybody else is doing it, and they know they'll get in trouble if they don't do it.
Well, that's kind of like Christianity too. You have some people that don't pray unless they're in church and they're standing up and doing corporate prayer. Yeah. So, exactly. It's not a religion. It is a political ideology movement.
It's really a cult. That's what it is. It's a cult. But this cult is all-encompassing and all-powerful wherever it goes. It takes over everything. Every aspect of government is controlled by this cult. What's next? So the next one is a lot of things that Vincent Chavez said, which really just disturbed me. He said that Jesus is a prophet, and Islam says Jesus is a prophet. And, you know, I grew up in the Catholic Church. I went to catechism. I went to Catholic school. Did you go to Catholic school? No. Not really. Well, no. I mean, we had Catholic class, but
I went to Catholic school, Queen of Heaven, which is no longer there, for 8 years. And I don't remember them just saying that Jesus was a prophet.
That was never the case. Well, it's a fundamental belief between Christians and Muslims.
We grew up teaching our kids that Jesus, he's more than, well, then you told me yesterday that Jesus is a prophet, right?
Well, he's a prophet too. I mean, Jesus is a lot of things, right?
He's a priest, a king.
Yeah.
He's the Messiah.
A healer. I mean, Jesus did a lot of things, and he did miracles. But that's one of the reasons I believe that the Muslims don't like to refer to him as God, because See, they don't have that in their religion. They have Muhammad, and Muhammad clearly was not. Clearly, they had no powers whatsoever. He never created. He never did any miracles. And when he was murdered by a woman, he didn't come back to life like Jesus did.
Well, okay, explain that part.
About Muhammad. Well, okay, so Muhammad, uh, he was murdered by a Jewish woman, a slave, and how she became a slave is because he murdered her entire family, and they took all the women, of course, as they always do. They use them as sex slaves.
She was his slave, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she was a Jew.
And she was a Jew, right? And so I don't know the exact details of how it transpired, but she offered to make him and his two amigos dinner one day, and Muhammad accepted, and she made him dinner. Well, she poisoned the food, and she basically killed all of them. Now Muhammad took 3 days to die, which is a horrible, excruciating death. But his two amigos died right away, and Muhammad actually went up to her and told her that Allah is not going to let you kill me. And 3 days later, he died. And he never came back.
He never rose from the dead.
He never rose from the dead. That bothers Muslims because he was just a man, and not just a man, but a man that got killed by a Jewish woman.
And what is so I don't think people understand this. When you are killed by a woman, any woman, what happens to you? In Islam, what happens to you?
In Islam, if you're killed by a woman, it's a disgrace and you go to hell.
So maybe us women need to carry more. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, so they, we grew up. He's a prophet. He's a king. He's a carpenter. He's a healer. There's all kinds of things. But I think for me, we grew up knowing he's the Messiah, which differentiates him than what the prophets, than what Islam says he is.
Yeah, but the egregious thing here is that this priest actually said that, and if Jesus didn't rise from the dead, there is no Christianity. And for this priest to say that really is troubling.
You mean just to say that he's just a prophet?
Yes,
because that's absolutely the intention, I think, and the way he said it.
Yeah, that he's just a prophet.
He's not just a prophet. Yeah, he is more than a prophet. He is the Messiah.
And he's God.
And for that,
our Father,
and that
our true Father,
priest to do that. Yeah. What do you think his intentions for doing that?
Well, I can't speak for his intentions, but I just based on what I know of the man, he's a liar, and that automatically puts him in a position, or puts me in a position to think that he is an evil person, because he is presenting to be a leader within the Catholic Church, and he's completely gone off the reservation, and wanted to be friends and bring in this cult that's going to destroy our country and our freedoms as well. But here he is as a Catholic priest promoting this insane culture.
And I think that was most disturbing for me, is that he's trying to align and teach you guys what Islam is teaching, so that you can say, oh, we're the same. Because then the next breath, he also says, Pilo, about Isaac and Ishmael. He says that, well, we had come from the same father Abraham.
No, that's true.
Well, that is true, but he doesn't give you the whole and complete picture. So can you want to just briefly talk about Isaac and Ishmael and how he's deceiving people with that story?
Well, according to the Bible, right, Isaac became the leader and where Judaism and Christianity came from. Where Ishmael.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit, because people may not really understand the story. So Abraham, him and his wife couldn't conceive. So then Sarah, his wife, went ahead and went to his a slave, Hagar, and said, "Can you please sleep with my husband so that he can have an heir?" Because having children back then was very important, correct?
Right.
And if you as a woman didn't have a child, you were actually shunned. And so I guess it was common practice to go get a maidservant or whatever. And so that's what Abraham did. He went and slept with Hagar, and they had Ishmael. After Ishmael was born, and I think they were like 13 years apart, actually, God had Sarah, who was 90 years old, conceive. His name was Isaac. And so Abraham loved both of those children because they were his. He absolutely loved both of those children. So, Abraham asked God to bless them both. Mm-hmm. But what he blessed them with was totally two different things. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I want you to say what he blessed Isaac with and what God blessed Ishmael with. Well,
you got a good handle of that. Go ahead and
do that. Well, you're better at that.
No, I'll
jump in.
I'll jump in afterwards. I'll explain something else.
So God, because he loved Abraham, he blessed Isaac and said, "You will be the father." Was it? With you, I will give you my covenant. So he's establishing a covenant, mm-hmm. the new covenant, with Isaac. With Ishmael, he said, "You will be fruitful, and I will have you lead many nations," or something like that. I'm paraphrasing right there. Okay, so now what's the difference?
Well, with Ishmael, he blessed him and said that his offspring would be a great nation as well, in large numbers. But he also did mention that he said that he will be wild as a donkey, and he will fight with everybody. And what's interesting about that is if you look at history, from back then to today, what nation is fighting with everybody, including themselves? I mean, wherever they go, they fight with everybody, including themselves. And of course, that's Islam. That's so really Ishmael is the father of Islam, and Isaac is the father of Judaism and Christianity. It's just interesting how it all plays out.
And then somebody's trying to twist it.
Yeah.
See, that's what bothers me, is that if you finish reading in Genesis, like you said, it says there are two, but one is doesn't have the establishes a covenant.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because Vincent is spouting the same thing that the Muslims spout.
Oh, do they? Did he?
Yeah, but that's what he's saying, that Ishmael was the one who was blessed.
So we're brothers, and so we're just like them. That's the impression I got.
Well, look, we come from the same father, Abraham. Yes, that's true.
Well, okay.
But the Quran was written to switch the roles of Isaac and Ishmael. And that's what Vincent was doing. He's just spouting what the Muslims say, that it was Ishmael that was blessed and Isaac that was run off.
Oh, that's what the Muslims say.
Yes.
Oh, so they're twisting the actual scripture.
Yes, because they want to change it. Remember, Islam wants to replace all religions, including Judaism and Christianity. So they edited the original Bible and put it into their Quran, but they twisted the stories around or changed them around to make them look better.
So I just want to say that, if you hear this, we're all the same because we came from Abraham, that is true, but God established his covenant and his promise to Isaac.
Correct.
Ishmael, he blessed, because and I think God, didn't it say God did that because they were offspring of Abraham and God loved Abraham?
Well, obviously, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. But he also said that Ishmael was going to be did you say a wild donkey?
Wild as a donkey.
Wild as a donkey, and all the nations will be against him, correct?
And he will be against all nations.
He will be.
And yes. And I mean, if you look to see at who kills the most Muslims in the world, it's other Muslims. It's not Christians and Jews. Muslims kill each other at huge numbers, and you can go to the religionofpeace.com and you can see all the attacks that they do, and usually they do them against other Muslims as well.
So I just want to end here because we're getting on 20 minutes here, is that be very careful what you're listening to, who you're listening to. And if it just doesn't make sense, there's probably a reason. That's called spiritual discernment. And I had a lot of people text me yesterday, or even in the comments, that said, as they were listening to Father Vincent, Vincent Chavez, they were disturbed as well. That is your spiritual discernment telling you something's not right. And a lot of people told me that yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make us be brothers, and that because Islam is our brother, because we all came from Abraham, that we should be loving and accepting. That is absolutely not the truth. We are to be loving and accepting, but God also commands us to be watchful, to be wise. And our only brothers that are mentioned in the New Testament are our brothers and sisters in Christ. If they have not accepted Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, they're not our brothers and sisters. And that's explicitly what Jesus says in the New Testament. So we're going to round it out. Is there anything else you want to say before you leave to work?
What was it?
That was it. We're already going on 20 minutes.
Okay,
so
we're done.
So any final words about just be very weary of who's teaching you guys?
Well, know the facts. That's really more important. Is do a little education for yourself. When I came home from Afghanistan, I studied Islam for 2 years, and not because I wanted to know about the great religion of Islam.
Peace.
What?
The religion of peace.
No, I wanted to understand why they did what they did, because it was very confusing for me as a Westerner to see these things, and none of it made any sense. But once you understand what Islam is really all about, then it made sense. Like, oh, okay, that's why they killed their own children.
And we don't see the real Islam here in the United States.
No.
What Vincent Chavez is doing, he's not giving you a clear picture of what Islam is.
Yeah, he's lying.
He's lying, and that's why a lot of us in the West cannot comprehend what Islam actually is. And we need people speaking more out about it. So anyway, have a good day, babe.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Let's go.